and Rome gods. Introduction. The ancient Greeks told stories about great adventures, wars, and romance. They built temples to their gods and crafted great works of art. The ancient Greeks believed that their gods were much like humans, except larger, stronger, more beautiful, and most important, immortal. They were called Olympians because they lived on Mount Olympus. A gate of clouds circled its peak, allowing only the gods to pass. Like mere mortals, the Olympians enjoyed games, music, art, and fancy jewelry. They fell in love, married, and had children. They even agreed and fought with one another. Sometimes the gods disguised themselves as human or other animals when visiting Earth because in their true forms they glowed with such a bright golden light that humans couldn't stand the sight. The gods helped heroes, honored people who honored them, and punished those who didn't. Zeus, god of sky and weather. Zeus was the king of the Olympians, god of the sky and weather, and the wisest and mightiest of the gods. All the other gods had to obey him. Zeus had not always ruled the heavens. He led his brothers, Poseidon and Hades, to overthrow their father, Kronos, and the other Titans. After the Titans' defeat, Zeus and his brothers divided up the world's rule. Zeus won the contest to become the god of the sky. Thunder and lightning became his weapons. The Greeks believed that Zeus protected the kings and rulers of earth. He watched over everyone and upheld law and protect those who were wronged. Poseidon, god of oceans. Poseidon was the ruler of Earth's oceans. His kingdom suited him because his mood changed as quickly as the sea. When he was angry, Poseidon summoned storms and earthquakes with his magic trident. With the same trident, he could calm the waves. Poseidon roamed his kingdom with a golden chariot, pulled by horses, in the shape of waves. One story says Poseidon created the first horse while trying to impress the goddess of the harvest, Demeter. He asked him to make her a new animal, one more beautiful than any other. When he made a horse, she was delighted. Poseidon was delighted too, so much so that he forgot Demeter in his hurry to make more horses. Hades, god of the underworld. Hades won the realm known as the underworld. There he ruled as the god of death. He made sure the dead were properly buried. The earth's hidden wealth belonged to him as well. Gold, silver, and other treasures buried underground. Most Greek gods lived in palaces, but Hades seldom left the dark underworld. He asked Zeus to let him marry the lovely Persephone. When Zeus agreed, Hades carried her into his palace. Persephone's mom threatened Zeus until he ordered Hades to return the girl to daylight. Hades obeyed, but only after offering Persephone food from his underworld kingdom. She ate several pomegranate seeds, which recruited her to return to Hades' realm for a few months each year. Hermes, god of merchants. Hermes, god of merchants, was the son of Zeus, the only god besides Hades, allowed into the underworld. When someone died, Hermes guided that person to Hades' realm. Any similarity to Hades ended them. Hades seldom spoke or smiled, but Hermes loved to talk and play tricks on people. While still a baby, he tiptoed from his mother's side to steal his brother's cows. He covered the cows' feet with a bark to hide their tracks, and tied brooms to their tails to sweep the ground behind them. Hermes' quick wit and clever tongue so pleased his father that he made Hermes his messenger. Zeus gave Hermes winged saddles and winged gold cap to speed him on his way. Hera, Queen of the Gods. Hera, the goddess of marriage and childbirth, was Zeus's wife and queen of the gods. She was one of the few allowed to argue with Zeus. Hera wore a royal crown, carried by scepter, tipped with the longest lotus blossom, and drove on a chariot pulled by peacocks. Greek women asked her blessing at weddings. Hera was also the goddess of childbirth, thought to protect a mother when giving birth. Artemis, goddess of hunting. Artemis was the goddess of hunting, the wildness and the wild animals. While still a child, she begged his father Zeus to let her stay unmarried forever. She spent her days hunting in the mountains and forests with nymphs to tender hounds. Artemis was also a goddess of childbirth because she helped her mother give birth to her twin brother. Artemis' role as a childbirth goddess differed from Hera. Hera protected the mother, and Artemis guarded the newborn baby. Hephaestus, god of fire and blacksmiths. Hephaestus was the god of fire, volcanoes, and blacksmiths. He was born with cribbed legs, and when his mother Hera saw him, she was so upset she threw him from Olympus. Hephaestus' soul fell to the ocean far below, where the sea goddess found him and gave him shelter. He lived with them for 9 years, working as a blacksmith, until he became the Olympians' most skilled craftsman. Both gods and heroes delighted his finely crafted weapons, armor, and jewelry. One day, Hephaestus made a marvelous throne of gold and sent it to Olympus, where Hera sat on the throne. Hidden spring wedged her in space. Hephaestus made a trap to punish her for throwing him away. Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty. Golden-haired Aphrodite was the goddess of love and beauty. Aphrodite was the goddess of love and beauty. She had the power to give birth and charm to those who pleased her and make anyone fall in love. And the mischievous little god Eros, called Cupid by the Romans, was her son. When Hera was caught by Hephaestus' trap, Zeus offered Aphrodite's hand in marriage to whoever freed his life. Unable to resist Aphrodite's loveliness, Hephaestus came to the Mount Olympus to free his mother and marry Aphrodite. When he married, Hermes made Aphrodite a metal boat woven with precious gems and magic. Its power made Aphrodite completely irresistible to both gods and men. Ares, god of war. Ares, the god of war, was the son of Zeus and Hera. He was a fierce, strong warrior who wielded a gigantic spear. Ares loved the destruction and the spoils of war. Sometimes other gods and goddesses chose one side to support in battle, but not Ares. He didn't care who was right or wrong. Sometimes he even switched sides mid-battle. Ares loved fighting for his own sake. Ares did not get along well with many of the other Olympians, most of whom hated his attitude and violence. He was often found with his sister, Ares, the goddess of discord, who had power to stir up war. He was also in love with Aphrodite, who loved the husband god of war more than she loved her husband. Hephaestus. Athena, goddess of wisdom. Of all Zeus's children, the goddess of wisdom, the strangest birth, Athena sprang from Zeus's head, fully grown and dressed in golden armor. Athena became Zeus's favorite child, the only one allowed to use his weapons, even the thunderbolts and lightning. The Greeks believed that Athena was responsible for many types of wisdom. They gave her credit for inventing almost every type of art and craft done by women, such as spinning, weaving, pottery, and cooking. For farmers, she invented the plow and the horse's bridle. She was also considered the goddess of war and was thought to give leaders good advice. Conclusion. The Greek gods held a central role in ancient Greek sociality, inspiring countless sculptures, temples, and other works of art. But their influence didn't end in ancient Greece. Not far away in Italy, the Romans modeled much of their sociality on the Greeks. Even modern people look to ancient Greece for ideas for their temples and statues. The first Olympic Games in 776 BC running contestants held to honor the gods. They gave rise to today's Olympic Games. In fact, ancient Greece is sometimes called the birthplace of Western sociality. The idea socially is started in the Greek mythology, helped shape the way people think and interact today.